Welcome back into Rover Sports, guys. And, this is devastating news for Jimmy Garoppolo, for all the Niner empire that's out there. I watched today's game, and, when Jimmy hit Marquise, I really thought that the 49ers had a great chance to come back, even on that last drive. I mean, the 49ers were on a run late in that game. Jimmy did miss an open Garcon on one throw, but he looked all right. Early in the first half, I mean, the pressures were terrible. You got to give the Chiefs defense credit for the first half, and then Mahomes, the tackling on Watkins was terrible. I'm gonna do a whole defensive film review of Mahomes, and really the throw he made on the run. He can extend plays and put so much pressure on the defense. I don't know about Sherman. It looked like Solomon also got rolled up along the sidelines. This defense is just really just not very good. The safeties, what was it, Colbert or Tart? You can't even tell that the team is out there. There was one throw to Tyreek Hill where literally the 49ers had three players in the vicinity and no one looked up to see the ball, and Tyreek Hill just jumped and caught it when there were three 49ers that were in position. Robert Saleh, I mean, this team has some talent on the defensive side, and they're not really bringing any pressures. He's in jeopardy of losing his job because the defense has sucked. I mean, Matt Stafford lit the 49ers up in the second half, and really 35-7. I mean, that's quite a hole to dig out of when really just the Chiefs, it seemed like Travis Kelce caught, 11 catches for 300 yards or 200 yards. I mean, the linebackers just were out of position. There were tons of penalties. Defensively, the 49ers sucked, and you got to give a lot of credit to Mahomes. I thought the 49ers would show a lot more effort and heart defensively. They got torched. Sammy Watkins had a great game, and this Chiefs offense is for real. I did pick the Kansas City Chiefs before the season started. I was the biggest Mahomes believer in the world. But now let's get to the biggest story. And if Jimmy Garoppolo didn't get hurt, I would feel like there's still a little bit of hope for the 49ers because the second half the defense did dominate. I believe the 49ers outscored the Chiefs 17-0 in the second half, showed a ton of heart coming out of the break. And the fact that Jimmy Garoppolo might have tore his ACL, I don't think it's a career ender. Jimmy is a franchise quarterback, and he showed signs again this year of playing really, really well. Jimmy is skittish in the pocket to begin with, and now with this injury, he will be even more skittish going forward, which is a concern, obviously. And then you look at Bridgewater and some guys. There's athletes that have dealt with injuries, and sometimes it ruins a career. So the point is about Jimmy Garoppolo and this football team is that I had so much faith in Jimmy, and the people that watch this show know what I feel about Jimmy Garoppolo, and this is a guy that changed the franchise last year with his presence on the field, off the field, going undefeated, beating Jacksonville, beating Tennessee, leading last-second drives versus the Bears and the Titans, and this dude's a clutch player, and in the second half, there was no quit in that dog in Jimmy Garoppolo. He was going to bring the 49ers, and if he stayed healthy, if there wouldn't have been those penalties near the goal line, the 49ers might have been within 7. They might have had a chance to go and complete a miraculous kind of a comeback late in that game. I mean, that game got pretty close late. You look at the NFC West, and there were tons of wins with Seattle, the Arizona Cardinals, but now you look at the 49ers are 1-2. The Chargers are going to be a tough out next week. And, I look at CJ and I think he's okay, but I think he's limited. I think that there's other quarterbacks that can give you more upside. I think RG3 is a guy who played with Shanahan that should be brought in and should compete with CJ. I think that Teddy Bridgewater for a second-round pick would be worth it because Teddy showed great signs in the preseason. I think that you could look at a Colin Kaepernick, who's a Super Bowl champion player, who played in the organization, who's mobile. So I think you could bring him in for a tryout and see what happens. I look at Bryce Petty. I look at Davis Webb. Davis Webb is a quarterback that I've believed in for a long time. If he gets a shot, it would be great for his career. You can bring him into the quarterback room and give CJ some more competition and depth. And then you look at Bryce Petty, another guy that hasn't really gotten a ton of opportunities, a guy with above average arm strength. You could look at a Tyrod Taylor or an AJ McCarron. The ranking of guys that I would go look at, I would go Bridgewater number 1. I'd go RG3 2. I would then put the mold of a Davis Webb and a Colin Kaepernick in the 3 spot. Then I would look at AJ and Tyrod. And those are the guys that, excuse me, that I would look at, giving the 49ers an opportunity to win football games. I didn't think Kaiser looked very good, but now with this season, you're going to need RG3 to play well. If you get Bridgewater, I think that you can compete immediately. The thing about Jameis and Nick Foles is that you do need quarterbacks that are somewhat fast and somewhat accurate underneath, and kind of guys that can extend a little bit, and guys that are mobile. So a Mitch Trubisky is like a perfect fit for this offense. You need a guy with a quick release, and you need guys that are accurate underneath, can process very quickly. And the thing about Jameis is he's a big ball thrower, same with Nick Foles, and they're not that mobile, and they're not that accurate underneath. I mean, Jameis is okay underneath, but he's very immobile. And Jameis Winston, a lot of his throws are long developing vertical passing game type of throws. And I don't think that he's a fit for Kyle Shanahan. I mean, look at the guys like RG3 and Matt Ryan and compare those to a guy like a Jameis Winston, like a Big Ben. I think that those bigger quarterbacks don't exactly fit with the Shanahan slot receivers, throw the ball 5 yards with great touch kind of players. Matt Schaub worked with Shanahan. I'm sure that you just need a quarterback that is quick, that throws accurately underneath, like a Sam Darnold type of guy. And it's a big hit now for the 49ers, but I'd look to get Bridgewater. Those are the guys that I would get. And, of course, my boy D-Webb. I'm a big fan of D-Webb. So to see him compete with CJ, see what Nick Mullins can do. But CJ might be able to win a few games. His defense is a little bit better, but I'd prefer Bridgewater. I would prefer RG3. I would prefer a veteran presence to come in there while the season is still there and learn this offensive playbook. And if CJ starts to lose, you quickly try to adjust. And overall, the secondary just looked like shit today. And losing Garoppolo, I mean, this contract, everything that's going on, it's a very sad state of affairs. I will do quarterback reviews on the 49ers. With today's injury, I am not going to do the Garoppolo film review, unfortunately, because, unfortunately, Jimmy is lost for the year. I'm going to talk about the defense and where they need to improve this week. And as always, thank you guys for watching. It's a devastating injury. This team was on the precipice of bouncing back from this KC loss with a healthy Jimmy G. I truly believe that this team had the talent to compete in the NFC West. And now you look at the Vikings. This 49ers team had a chance this year to be very special. And it's a heartbreaking day for 49ers fans. And my thoughts are with you guys. And of course, my prayers are with Jimmy Garoppolo today. So, I wanted to vent about the defense, but today is much, much more. It's a devastating injury. You always hope that it's not your guy in your team, and it happens, and it's the worst.